Gerald, sitting in his brother's basement in Vancouver, stares at the empty bank account on his laptop screen. I lost $420,000 in Thailand, 14 months, not even a year and a half. Every dollar I'd saved over 25 years in IT. And the worst part? I handed it over willingly, convinced I was building something. 14 months. 14 months believing I was a smart businessman. 14 months thinking I'd found the perfect investment and the perfect partner. He's back in Canada now, sleeping on his brother's couch, picking up freelance IT contracts at 54 years old. Thailand taught me that greed makes you blind, and when you combine business with romance, you become the easiest mark in the world. January 2023. Gerald was 53. Canadian. Just finished a brutal divorce. I had $420,000. I'd worked IT contracts for 25 years, saved aggressively. If I'd kept it invested conservatively, I'd be earning maybe 6% annually, that's $25,000 yearly, about $2,000 monthly. Combined with my freelance work, bringing in another $1,200 monthly, I'd have $3,200 coming in. Not rich, but comfortable. My ex-wife had an affair with a colleague. After 19 years and 2 kids, she served me papers and took half of everything. The house, the cars, the savings we'd built together, gone. I'd spent my entire adult life behind a computer screen, fixing other people's problems, sacrificing weekends and evenings. I felt hollow, used up. 53 and starting over felt impossible in Vancouver, where rent alone was eating $2,400 monthly. A friend in Bangkok kept messaging me photos, rooftop bars, affordable apartments with pools, street food that cost dollars instead of $20. You can live like a king here, Gerald. Your money goes 10 times further. And the women? They actually appreciate a good man. I'd visited Thailand once in 2019 for a conference. The energy, the warmth, the way a dollar stretched, it stuck with me. When my divorce finalized, I started researching seriously. Cost of living, 60% less than Vancouver. Weather, no more brutal winters. Opportunity. Everyone talked about businesses, bars, restaurants, foreigners making money. March 2023, I arrived in Bangkok. The heat hit me like walking into an oven, but the chaos felt alive in a way Vancouver never did. Tuk-tuks honking, street vendors grilling meat at midnight, neon signs in Thai script glowing against the humid night. I rented a modern studio in Thong Lo for 18,000 baht, $650 Canadian. Back home, I couldn't rent a closet for that. I was spending maybe $1,400 monthly total, living better than I had in years. If I'd kept it simple, rented cheap, lived modestly, kept my money invested, I'd be fine right now. But I was thinking about legacy, about proving I could build something, about not being the divorced loser starting over. Then I met her. I'd been in Thailand 2 months when I met her. Levels Bar on Sukhumvit Soy 11. I'd walked past dozens of bars with girls out front calling, "Hello, handsome man, come inside." But Levels was different, upscale, modern, the kind of place that didn't feel seedy. Wiphawan was behind the bar, not on a stool waiting for customers. She was 28, tall for a Thai woman, with sharp features and this confident way of moving. She wasn't wearing the typical club dress, just jeans and a black tank top, managing the other girls like she owned the place. I ordered a singha. She poured it herself. "You live here or tourist?" Her English was pretty good, not the broken pidgin I'd heard elsewhere. Something about her felt different, professional, like she was actually working a real job, not just there to extract drinks from drunk foreigners. Within an hour, she told me her story. She was from Nonthaburi, just outside Bangkok. Her father had died when she was 16, leaving her mother with debt. She had a 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. "Thai man no good," she said, shaking her head. "He leave when baby come. No support, nothing. I work 2 job, daytime office, nighttime here. Very tired." Wiphawan wasn't like the others. She didn't ask me to buy her lady drinks every 5 minutes. She seemed educated, ambitious. She talked about wanting to own a business someday, about getting her daughter into a good school. She asked about my life, actually listened when I talked about the divorce. I know what you're thinking, bar girl sob story, oldest trick in the book. But with her, it felt genuine. She had this quiet dignity, this determination. I thought I was experienced enough to spot the bullshit. When she mentioned needing $4,000 for her daughter's school fees and some medical bills for her mother, she seemed embarrassed to ask. "I pay you back," she said quietly. I didn't hesitate. If this was real, then $4,000 was nothing to help someone working 2 jobs to support her family. I gave her my line contact that night. She messaged me a photo of her daughter the next day with a thank you note that felt sincere. Over the next 3 weeks, we became inseparable. I felt alive for the first time since the divorce. She quit the bar. I gave her $2,800 to cover what she'd lose in income for 2 months. By June, I knew I wanted something serious with her. I was wrong. Over the next 4 months, life felt like I'd finally gotten something right. Wiphawan and I fell into a routine morning coffee at a local spot, afternoons exploring Bangkok, evenings cooking together in my apartment. I gave her 35,000 baht monthly allowance, about $1,200, to help with her daughter and mother. My freelance contracts were still bringing in $1,200 monthly. With my investment income at $2,000, I had $3,200 total coming in. Rent $650, food maybe $400, her allowance $1,200, miscellaneous $600. I was spending about $2,850 monthly, still saving $350 monthly, but dipping into principal for extras. Late July, she asked for another $6,000. Her mother needed gallbladder surgery. Emergency, hospital wouldn't wait. I hesitated. That was 6 months ago with the school fees. This was adding up. But I didn't want to seem cheap. If I refused, what did that say about me? That I valued money more than helping her family during a medical crisis. She'd been so good to me, affectionate, attentive, never demanding. I gave it. She deserved someone who'd be there for her family the way her ex never was. Looking back, this was the test I failed. She learned I'd always say yes when emotions were involved. By September, we were talking about something bigger than just dating. I mentioned maybe opening a small business together. Her eyes lit up. "I know bars," she said. "I work in bars for 6 years. I know what works, what doesn't. If we have good location, good girls, we make so much money. Foreigners love Bangkok bar scene." She wasn't wrong. Every night, I saw bars packed with foreign men spending money like water. Some bars were clearing 400,000 to 500,000 baht monthly in revenue. Even accounting for costs, that was serious profit potential. "There's a bar for sale," she said a week later, on Sukhumvit Soi 7, owner going back to Australia. He wants $180,000 USD. Has existing customers, good reputation, 5-year lease. This perfect opportunity. My heart raced. $180,000 was huge. Almost half my savings. "You'd run it?" I asked. "Of course. I manage everything. You silent partner. Just money. I do all work." She grabbed my hand. "Gerald, this is how we build future. Bar make maybe 300,000 baht profit monthly. That's $10,000 Canadian. We split. You make $5,000 monthly more than your investments. In 3 years, you make your money back, then pure profit forever." The math made sense. 6 to 7% annual returns from investments versus potentially 30–40% from a business? No contest. But I pushed back. Everything would be in your name. I can't own a business here as a foreigner. "What if we break up?" She looked hurt. "Why you? Think like that? You don't trust me? After I tell you everything? After we together 5 months? If you don't trust, why we together? I do trust you. I'm just being practical. Thai people not like Western. When we commit, we commit. I not like Thai girl who play. I serious woman." She paused. "But if you don't want? Okay, I understand. You careful with money. I respect that." The guilt hit me. Here was a woman who'd struggled her whole life, finally seeing a chance to build something, and I was being the typical tight-fisted foreigner. Over the next week, She took me to meet the current owner, an Australian named Brett, who'd run the place for 4 years. "Mate, I'm going back home for family reasons," he said. "This place prints money. Girls are top tier, regular customers, prime location. I'd keep it if I could, but my mum's sick. Needs to sell fast, that's why the price is decent." The bar was called Siam Nights. Neon sign out front, dark wood interior, elevated stage, decent sound system. 8 girls working that night, maybe 20 customers. Brett showed me ledgers claimed 450,000 baht monthly revenue, costs around 250,000 blend, girls' salaries, booze, electricity. Net profit, 200,000 baht monthly, about $6,800 CAD. "Mate, at this price, you're buying a cash machine," Brett said. I looked at Wiphawan. She was smiling, hopeful. At this point, I'd spent maybe $14,000 since arriving. Initial help. $4,000 monthly allowances. $6,000 mother's surgery. $6,000. Total. $16,000. I had $404,000 left. If the bar worked, I'd be fine. Better than fine. I'd be making serious money. I decided right then. I was doing this. This was just the beginning. October 2023 passed in a blur of paperwork, renovations, and excitement. We weren't officially living together yet. I was still in my Thonglo studio. She stayed in Nonthaburi with her daughter. Rent was still 18,000 baht, $650. Monthly expenses were adding up. Rent, $650. Food, $500. Wiphawan's allowance, $1,200. She'd quit the bar, needed support. Her family, $800 average mother's medications, daughter's needs. Miscellaneous, $700. Total, $3,850 monthly. My income was still $3,200. I was running a deficit of $650 monthly. Over 4 months, I'd burned through another $2,600, plus the $16,000 I'd already spent. But none of that mattered once the bar was ours. Wiphawan became laser-focused on the business. She was on her phone constantly, talking to suppliers, interviewing girls, negotiating with the landlord about lease terms. One evening, she showed me a marketing plan she'd sketched out on paper: ladies' night promotions, social media presence, partnerships with hotels to bring tourists in. I was impressed. She wasn't just some bar girl, she actually understood business. But small purchases started adding up. She saw a new iPhone Pro Max at MBK Center, 45,000 baht, $1,550. "I need good phone for business," she said. "Take photos for social media. Communicate with customers." I bought it. It was only $1,550, right? Looking back, that phrase destroyed me. It's only $1,550. It's only $800. It's only $2,200. Dozens of times. Her mother had another emergency, some kind of infection, needed hospital stay, $5,500. Wiphawan cried when she told me. "I don't want to ask, but I have no one else. My brother has no money. My sister has 3 kids. I sent the money. What was I supposed to do, let her mother suffer?" This is what partners do, they support each other's families during crises. This happened 3 more times before December. Always urgent. Always expensive. Medical bills, daughter's unexpected school costs, brother's motorcycle accident. Each time between $2,000, $5,000. Wiphawan started comparing me to other foreign bar owners. Kun Robert, he buy his girlfriend BMW. Kun James, he buy condo for his wife's family. Made me feel inadequate, defensive, like I wasn't doing enough even though I'd dropped $180,000 on a business and was sending her $1,200 monthly. She started spending more time at the bar even before we officially took over, coming home at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. When I asked why so late, she'd say, "I'm learning from Brett, watching how he closes, meeting the regulars." Made sense at the time. I noticed but said nothing when her phone started lighting up with late-night messages. She wouldn't let me see. Just bar business, she'd say, tilting the screen away. Suppliers, girls asking about shifts. When I asked who she was texting at midnight, she'd snap, "Why you not trust me? You think I'm bad person?" I let it go. I told myself I was being paranoid, jealous, controlling like my ex-wife always accused me of being. I was starting to feel trapped, too proud to admit I might be making a mistake, too invested financially and emotionally to walk away. By late November, I'd spent another $24,000 on top of the previous $16,000. $40,000 total. Down to $380,000 in savings. Still hadn't officially bought the bar. Then Wiphawan, said the owner, wanted to finalize the deal. Time to transfer the money. This was when things went from bad to catastrophic. Late November, we met Brett at his lawyer's office to finalize the sale. I'd arranged to wire $180,000 USD from my Canadian account to complete the purchase. The plan was to put the business license in Wiphawan's name. Thai law required 51% Thai ownership minimum. Brett's lawyer had prepared papers showing me as advisor with rights to 49% of profits. I sat there as they talked in Thai for 30 minutes. Every time I asked what they were discussing, Wiphawan would say, "Just details, standard business talk." The lawyer spoke almost no English. When I signed 6 different documents I couldn't read. Wiphawan assured me, "This is normal. It's Thai company registration, work permit application, transfer of lease, transfer of liquor license, profit-sharing agreement." The lawyer nodded along. "Everything legal," Wiphawan said, squeezing my hand. "Now we business partners." I gave Brett a cashier's check for $180,000. He signed everything over, shook my hand. "Best of luck, mate. This place'll treat you well if you treat it right." The keys were ours. December 1st, 2023. But that's when the costs really started. "The place needs renovation," Wiphawan said the day after we took possession. "Look, the sound system is old, furniture is worn, bathroom is disgusting. If we want to compete with the new bars on Soy 11, we need to upgrade." She showed me quotes. New sound system and lighting, $18,000 refurbished bar and seating, $12,000, bathroom renovation, $8,000, new furniture, $10,000, total, $48,000. "This isn't what we agreed," I said. Brett said the place was turnkey. Turnkey for him, but we want to be better, make more money, good investment. When customers see nice place, they spend more. She pulled up photos on her phone of fancy bars. "Look, this is standard now." I was hesitant. $48,000 on top of $180,000 meant $228,000 total over half, my savings. But Wiphawan's logic was sound. We'd make it back in profit. The bar would generate $6,000, $10,000 monthly once renovated and running smoothly. Within 2 years, I'd have my money back. I approved $40,000 for renovations. Not everything she wanted, but enough to make the place competitive. Her cousin, Som Chai, was a contractor. "He give us good price, family discount," she said. I never met him in person, just saw photos of work in progress on Wiphawan's phone. Over December and January, money kept disappearing. $15,000 for business licenses and permits, she said. Thai bureaucracy required payments under the table to speed up approvals. $8,000 for initial inventory. Alcohol, mixers, glassware. $6,000 for marketing and grand opening event. Every week she'd say, "Need more money for something," and I'd transfer another $3,000, $5,000, $8,000. She'd show me receipts in Thai I couldn't read. Amounts kept changing. Money disappeared into fees and unexpected costs. I started to worry. When I asked to see the books, she'd get defensive. "You don't trust me? After everything? I'm working day and night for us and you think I'm stealing?" She'd cry, and I'd feel like an asshole. Her cousin Somchai was handling everything: renovations, inventory orders, hiring girls, dealing with landlords. I thought, what if things go wrong? They'll all side with her. I'm the foreigner with no legal standing, but I said nothing because we were too deep already. By late January 2024, 4 months after arriving in Thailand. I'd spent $228,000 on the bar purchase and renovations, plus another $58,000 on living expenses, her allowances, and family emergencies. Total, $286,000 spent. Down to $134,000 in savings, less than a third of what I'd started with. I'd also pulled $40,000 from my investment portfolio to cover shortfalls, which dropped my monthly investment income from $2,000 to $1,400, a loss of $600 monthly in passive income. My freelance work was still bringing in $1,200, so I was down to $2,600 monthly total income. When Siam Nights officially reopened February 1st with the new look, I felt proud. The place looked incredible: modern lighting, leather booths, professional sound system, sleek bar. Wiphawan had hired 7 beautiful girls. We had an opening party that brought in maybe 50 people. Wiphawan posted photos everywhere on Instagram and Facebook. All her friends commented. She seemed happy, energized. I thought, now we can settle down. Now she'll be satisfied. The business will make money, and we'll be secure. I was wrong. Within weeks, everything started going wrong. The first month running Siam Nights, March 2024, things started falling apart. The bar wasn't making money, not even close to the 450,000 baht monthly Brett claimed. We were bringing in maybe 180,000 baht on good weeks, that's 720,000 monthly maximum. But costs were insane. Rent, 120,000 baht. Girls' salaries, 160,000 baht. Alcohol and supplies, 90,000 baht. Electricity and utilities, 35,000 baht. Miscellaneous, 50,000 baht. Total, 455,000 baht. We were losing 175,000 baht monthly, minimum about $6,000 CAD in the red every month. When I confronted Wiphawan, she had excuses. February and March are slow season, tourist numbers down. We need more marketing. We need to hire better girls. This is normal for new business, takes 6 months to build customer base. Somchai, her cousin who was supposedly managing things, was barely there. The girls complained he didn't show up for shifts, didn't restock the bar properly, and took bottles home. When I tried to check inventory against sales, numbers didn't match. Cases of whiskey disappeared. The till was always short. Every 2 weeks, Wiphawan would say bar needs money to keep going. Need to pay rent, pay girls, pay suppliers. First months, $8,000 just to keep doors open. April, another $11,000 because we owe distributor. They stop delivering if we don't pay. May, another $15,000 because rent is 3 months overdue, landlord threatening to cancel lease. I was frustrated, angry. I knew something was wrong. I'd put over $230,000 into this business, and we hadn't made a single baht profit. The place was worthless. When I tried to look at the books, demand to see receipts, question why her cousin was managing everything, Wiphawan would explode. You don't trust me. I'm working so hard. Maybe you should run it if you think you're so smart. You don't understand Thai business. Then she'd cry, and I'd feel guilty. Wiphawan and I barely had sex anymore, maybe once in 2 months. She said she was exhausted from working at the bar every night. We argued constantly about money, about the business, about why things weren't working. Every conversation turned into a fight. She spent more time at the bar than at home, coming back at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., sometimes not at all. I have to close, clean up, count money, talk to girls about problems. When I suggested I help close so she could come home earlier, she'd say, "No need, I handle it." Her phone was always face down. She'd leave the room to take calls. She changed her passcode. When I asked who she was texting at midnight, she'd snap. "Why are you always jealous? This is business. Customers asking about VIP table bookings." Wiphawan seemed unhappy all the time, resentful. Like she wanted to be anywhere but with me. The affection was gone, the warmth. She looked at me like I was an obligation, not a partner. My friend Dave, another Canadian expat, pulled me aside at a coffee shop in May. "Gerald, mate, I've seen your girlfriend at Levels again. 2 weeks ago, late night, she was with some Thai guy. Looked pretty close. She goes there to recruit girls, I said defensively. At 1 a.m.? Sitting in a corner booth holding hands with some dude? He showed me a photo on his phone. Grainy, but clearly Wiphawan laughing with a younger Thai man, their heads close together. I didn't want to believe it. Got defensive. Dave was probably jealous or mistaken. Wiphawan had explained her late night's business required it. By June 2024, I'd spent another $68,000 keeping the bar afloat on top of the original $286,000. Cumulative total. Bar purchase and renovations. $228,000. Bar operating losses. $68,000. Living expenses, allowances. Family emergencies. $58,000. Grand total, $354,000. I had $66,000 left, less than 16% of my original savings. My monthly income was down to $2,600, barely covering my $2,100 monthly expenses after I cut back on Wiphawan's allowance. I felt trapped, depressed, too proud to admit failure. Too invested to walk away. If I left now, I'd lose everything. Maybe if I stuck it out another 6 months, the bar would turn around. I'd put my entire future into this. I couldn't admit I'd wasted everything. I kept telling myself, things will get better. She's just stressed. Business is hard. This is temporary. Then, I couldn't ignore the signs anymore. One afternoon in late June, I was at the bar. During the day, helping restock. Wiphawan had gone to meet with a supplier. Her iPad was on the bar counter. A line message notification popped up. From Pakrit, a name I didn't recognize. Miss last night. When can we meet again? Don't let the Farang find out. 555. My stomach dropped. Hands shaking. I opened her iPad, no passcode during the day. Only at night. I found the conversation thread. Hundreds of messages over months, photos of them together, hotel rooms, him in bed, her calling him my love in Thai, which I Google translated. Messages about me. He's boring. Just money. I count days until I can leave. Messages about the bar. His money is almost finished. Maybe 2 more months. Then we set up our own bar with what's left. I read through everything 3, 4 times. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Krit was her ex, the father of her daughter. He'd never left. They'd been together the entire time I'd known her. Suddenly, everything made sense. That time in April, when the old man approached her at the mall and she got nervous, she wasn't uncomfortable. She was worried I'd figure something out. The renovations that cost $48,000 when quotes should have been $25,000. The money went to Krit, new motorcycle, gold chain, their trips to Pattaya together while I thought she was visiting her mother. Her cousin Somchai barely managing the bar? Because the bar was never meant to succeed. It was a front to drain my money as quickly as possible before I caught on. Dave had tried to tell me in May, I saw your girlfriend with someone. He was right. I'd called him paranoid. The full picture came into focus. Wiphawan had never stopped seeing Krit. I was the foreign sponsor funding their life together. Everything, the bar, the emergencies, the daughter's school fees, was designed to extract maximum money before I ran out. I checked her social media. She'd posted photos of Krit and her together on a Facebook account I didn't know existed. Beach trips, restaurants, hotel rooms. Posted 2 days ago while she told me she was visiting her sick mother. The money I'd sent to her family, at least $30,000 over 9 months, half went to Krit, his gambling debts, his motorcycle payments, funding their lifestyle. Her mother wasn't sick most of those times. Her daughter's school fees? Maybe $2,000 real, the rest went elsewhere. I calculated it. Over $354,000 spent. Probably $100,000 went directly to Krit. Another $150,000 disappeared into the bar that was designed to fail. $50,000 to her family, $54,000 to living expenses and scams. I felt physically sick, betrayed on a level I didn't know was possible. But mostly, I felt empty, hollow, like the past 10 months had been erased. How could I have been so blind? so desperate, so stupid. I had to decide whether to confront her immediately or gather more evidence. I needed to hear her admit it. I had to face her. That evening, Wiphawan came home around 11 p.m., claiming she'd been at the bar, dealing with supply issues. I was sitting on the couch with her iPad in my hand. The messages open. "Who is Pakrit?" I said quietly. She went pale, froze. Then her face hardened. "Why you look at my iPad? That's private." "Who is he?" "Wiphawan. Just a friend." "Why you don't trust me?" I turned the screen toward her. "These messages don't sound like a friend. Miss you last night? Don't let the Farang find out? You call him my love." She started crying immediately. "That not what you think. You misunderstand. He's my daughter's father. We just talk sometimes." I read everything. Months of messages, hotels, photos, you calling me boring, planning to take what's left of my money. Her crying stopped. The mask dropped. Her face shifted to something cold, defiant. She nodded. "Okay, yes, yes. What? Yes, I with him. He my boyfriend before you, during you, always. We together since before I meet you." My chest felt tight. "The whole time?" "Yes, the whole time." "The bar? The money?" She laughed bitterly. "You think that bar ever going to make money? It was never real business. Just way to get your money fast. Krit and I, we plan to open our own bar after you run out of money. The Renovations, her cousin Somchai. Somchai is Krit's friend. Renovations cost maybe $15,000. The rest? We keep. You never checked because you can't read Thai. Your mother's surgeries? My mother is fine. Sick sometimes, yes, but not $5,000 sick. You gave me money. I gave Krit money. Simple. I felt my legs go weak. I wanted to throw something, scream, hit the wall. But mostly I just felt broken. "Did you ever love me?" She looked away, said nothing for a long moment. Then, "Older foreigner with money who believe everything." "Easy. Why me? You looked lonely. Desperate. I know you just divorced. You want someone to make you feel special. I gave you what you want. You gave me what I want. This is business." "Who else knows?" "Everyone. My family knows. Krit's family knows. The girls at the bar know. People in my village know. Only you don't know." I stood up, chair falling backward. I wanted to destroy something. Rage like I'd never felt. But more than rage, I felt humiliated. Ashamed. I'd been the joke. The stupid Farang everyone laughed at behind his back. "Get out," I said. "This is my place. My name on lease. You get out." She called Krit. He arrived 20 minutes later with two of his friends. Bigger than me. Younger. Hostile. "You have problem?" Krit said in broken English, smiling. I had no power. No legal standing. Everything was in her name. I packed a bag and left for a hotel that night. Over the next week, staying at a cheap hotel in Ramkhamhaeng, I looked deeper into the financial damage. I'd been played from the start. The bar purchase from Brett? He'd sold it for $110,000, not $180,000. Wiphawan and Krit pocketed the $70,000 difference. Brett later told me, via email, "Mate, I sold it to your girlfriend for $110,000 USD cash. What she told you is between you two. The business licenses and permits that cost $15,000 should have been $2,000 maximum. The rest disappeared. The emergency surgeries, school fees, family crises. Maybe 30% real, 70% fabricated." Her mother confirmed via a friend's translation that she'd only been hospitalized once, cost 40,000 baht, $1,400, not the $5,500 I'd sent multiple times. Somchai wasn't her cousin, he was Krit's business partner. They'd been siphoning inventory, skimming cash, running the bar into the ground intentionally, while I kept pumping money in to save it. She'd had a second phone the whole time, one for me, one for Krit. Her real social media accounts were under a different name. Photos of them together going back 2 years long before she met me. People at Levels Bar had known the whole time. The girls working there tried to hint to other foreigners that Wiphawan was no good, but word never got back to me clearly. Other expats had seen her with Crit, but I was too defensive, too proud to listen. I'd been the mark in a long con, the walking wallet. The only one who didn't know. I sat in my hotel room and calculated everything. Total spent, bar purchase. I paid $180K, real cost, $110K, $180,000. Renovations. I paid $48K, real cost, maybe $15. $48,000 operating losses, fabricated shortfalls. $68,000. Family emergencies, mostly fake. $30,000 monthly allowances and gifts. $18,000. Living expenses and misc. $10,000 total. $354,000. I had $66,000 left. Less than 16% of my original savings. My monthly income had dropped from $3,200 to $2,600 because I'd liquidated investments. I was 54 years old, too old to rebuild decades of savings, facing a retirement of poverty. This was when I finally understood Thailand. All those years, I'd thought I was building a life here. That Thailand welcomed foreigners, that hard work and good intentions mattered, but the truth was, I was always just an ATM. From day one, I was seen as money, nothing more. Those Thai smiles, they smile while taking everything. After 10 months, I was still Farang, still an outsider. The whole system is designed to extract wealth from foreigners who have no legal protection. I couldn't sleep. Lost 15 pounds in 2 weeks. Started drinking heavily just to numb the shame and anger. I felt suicidal some nights, staring at the hotel room ceiling, wondering what the point of continuing was. I had no one to talk to. I'd alienated my kids back in Canada, too proud to admit what was happening. My brother had warned me not to go. I was too embarrassed to tell anyone the truth. I thought of myself as smart, experienced, a tech professional who'd navigated corporate politics for decades. But I'd been the biggest fool. The cautionary tale. I chose to leave Thailand. I had no other option. I couldn't stay in the country that destroyed me. I was too broken to fight. 3 weeks after the confrontation. Mid-July 2024, I booked a one-way flight to Vancouver. The last time I saw Wiphawan, she was already moving Crit into the apartment I'd been paying rent on. She demanded $10,000 for a divorce settlement, even though we were never legally married. I told her to go to hell. I went to the bar one last time. Siam nights had new management. Crit behind the bar, Wiphawan working the floor like she used to at Levels. They'd repainted, changed the name to Lucky Strike Bar. They were already running it the way they'd always planned, with my money as the foundation. The girls I'd hired didn't even recognize me. New staff, new everything. What I left behind? The bar business. $228,000 in a structure I'd never see again, operating losses. $68,000 that went straight to them. The apartment lease. $8,000 paid 6 months advance. Forfeited all the furniture and belongings I couldn't take. $5,000 worth. Total abandoned. $309,000. What I left with? $66,000 in my Canadian bank account. About 16% of my original savings. Barely enough to survive 6 months. I flew out of Suvarnabhumi Airport on July 18, 2024. 14 months after I'd arrived. Full of hope and optimism, I watched Bangkok disappear beneath the clouds and felt nothing, just emptiness. Thailand took everything. My savings, $354,000. My time, 14 months. My dignity, my trust in people, my retirement dreams, my self-respect. What it gave? Lessons I didn't want to learn. Memories that haunt me. Understanding of how cruel people can be when money is involved. Proof that I was never as smart as I thought. Thailand is set up for this. The legal system protects Thais at any cost. Foreigners have no ownership rights, no legal recourse, no protection. The culture doesn't just allow taking advantage of foreigners, it expects it. There's no shame in scamming someone who trusts you. It's normalized. Not all Thais are like this, I know that. But the system that says taking advantage of lonely foreigners is acceptable, the lack of legal protection, the way bars and businesses are designed to drain foreign money, that's systemic. The greed isn't individual, it's cultural. And I learned that too late. Current location, I'm in Vancouver now, living in my younger brother's basement. He was kind enough not to say, "I told you so," but I see it in his eyes every time we talk. I rent a small room for $600 monthly, my brother's giving me family rates. I picked up freelance IT contracts again, making about $3,500 monthly. After rent, food, and necessities, I'm saving maybe $1,800 monthly. I don't talk to anyone about what happened. I avoid other expats online because I'm embarrassed. I keep to myself. I'm 54 years old. I'll be working until I'm 75 just to rebuild a fraction of what I lost. I'll never have the retirement I planned. I'll never recover. Emotional resolution. I'm broken. The damage is permanent. I wake up angry every day at her, at Thailand, at myself. I'll never trust again. Every time I see an online article about retire in Thailand, I feel rage. But mostly, I hate myself for being so stupid, so desperate, so blind. I survived what she did to me. I'm poor, but I'm alive. I got out before she took literally everything. That's something, I guess. If you're reading this, learn from my mistakes. Don't be me. Here are 7 things I learned the hard way after losing $354,000 in 14 months. 1. Never invest in a business in Thailand as a foreigner. I thought a bar was a smart investment. The truth is, you can't own a business in Thailand. Maximum 49% foreign ownership. Everything goes in a Thai person's name. The moment the paperwork is signed, you have zero legal control. They can vote you out, run it into the ground, steal inventory, and you can't do anything. If the relationship ends, the business is theirs, legally. I invested $228,000 in Siam nights. I don't own a single chair. Don't invest in bars, restaurants, guest houses, or anything requiring a Thai partner. You're handing over money with no protection. Rent instead, you'll save hundreds of thousands. 2. If the age gap is 20+ years, it's not love. I was 53, she was 28. 25-year gap. She wasn't attracted to me, she was attracted to my wallet. No 28-year-old genuinely falls for a 53-year-old divorced man with a beer gut. I wasn't special. I was a target. Ask yourself, would she be with you if you had no money? If the answer is anything other than a definite yes, you're being used. Her mother needed surgery, $5,500. Her brother had an accident, $4,000. Her daughter needed school fees, $4,000. Next month, another crisis. It became constant. Every 2 weeks, someone in her family had an emergency requiring thousands of dollars. Half weren't real. The other half were exaggerated. Her family saw me as an ATM they accessed through her. I sent $30,000 to her family over 10 months. Maybe $8,000 was legitimate. The rest funded Crit's lifestyle. Say no to the first request. Her family's problems are not your responsibility. If she loves you, she'll understand. If she doesn't, you've learned something important. 4. Don't mix business with romance in Thailand. I thought combining a relationship with a business partnership was smart. We'd build something together. The truth, mixing business and romance in Thailand gives her maximum control and you maximum vulnerability. She controls the business, the money, and your emotions. You can't think clearly. You can't make rational decisions because every business decision feels like a relationship decision. When the bar was losing money, I kept investing because saying no felt like I was abandoning her. I confused business failure with relationship failure. Keep them separate. If you invest in a business, do it independently with contracts and lawyers. If you're in a relationship, keep finances completely separate. I lost $228,000 because I couldn't separate the two. 5. Red flags mean something, trust your instincts. She kept her phone face down, I ignored it. Her cousin was running the bar into the ground, I ignored it. She was out until 3 a.m. regularly, I ignored it. Friends tried to warn me, I ignored them. I didn't want to see the truth. I was too invested to back out. I convinced myself I was being paranoid, jealous, controlling. Multiple red flags are a pattern. Your gut knows before your brain admits it. If something feels wrong, it probably is. I saw a dozen red flags over 10 months. I ignored every single one because I didn't want to admit I'd made a catastrophic mistake. Listen to your instincts. Listen to your friends. Trust your gut. 6. Thailand is not your friend, legally. This isn't about Thai people. It's about the system. You can't own land ever. Business. Maximum 49%. Marriage doesn't grant property rights. Courts favor Thais in disputes. Foreigners have almost no legal protection. Go to Thailand to visit, not to build a life you can't legally protect. I put $354,000 into a country where I had no legal rights. When everything fell apart, I had no recourse. The law didn't protect me. The system is designed to favor Thais, which makes sense from their perspective, but it means foreigners are always vulnerable. 7. Don't sacrifice your security for anyone. I gave up my financial security for someone who never loved me. If I'd kept my $420,000 invested conservatively at 6% annual returns, I'd have $445,000 now, plus $25,000 yearly income. Instead, I have $66,000 and I'm working freelance contracts at 54 to survive. No woman is worth your entire future. Love shouldn't cost you everything you've worked for. If she truly loves you, she won't demand you sacrifice your security. You can't save her from poverty by joining her in it. Final message. These 7 lessons cost me $354,000 and 14 months. I'm giving them to you for free. Maybe someone will listen. Maybe my story will save one person from making the same mistakes. If you're reading this, you're probably thinking about moving to Thailand, investing in a business there, or you're in love with someone you met in a bar. Don't do what I did. Don't invest in a business you can't legally own. Don't ignore red flags because you're in love. Don't trust someone whose job is to make you feel special. Don't think you're different or special. Don't believe age gaps don't matter, because you'll end up like me, broke at 54, with nothing, unable to undo what you've destroyed. If you're considering Thailand, visit Thailand. Don't move there permanently. Keep your money in your home country in your own name. Rent, never buy property or businesses. Set a strict monthly budget and never exceed it. Assume everyone who approaches you for money is working an angle. Get a prenup, or avoid marriage entirely. Keep finances completely separate. If you're already there and seeing red flags, get out now before you're in too deep. Don't fall for sunk cost fallacy. I've already invested so much. Better to lose some than everything. Your pride isn't worth your future. You can rebuild from losing $20,000. You can't rebuild from losing $400,000. I lost $354,000. 14 months of my life. My retirement. My dignity. My ability to trust. I'm 54, living in my brother's basement, working IT contracts to survive, and I'll be working into my 70s because I have no savings left. Don't let Thailand do to you what it did to me, please. Learn from my mistakes. Don't be another one of these stories. Just don't do it.